Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody is having a great Sunday morning. We'll uh, we'll give it just another minute or so. Let everybody jump in and get a cup of coffee and sit down. We're gonna go over a few things this morning. We'll talk about the forecast for this week. There's a couple questions out there that I'd like to kind of enhance on, and then we're going to talk about the tropics a little bit as we have our first named or our second named tropical system that is going to be packing a punch down in the Caribbean. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in case anybody has any interests or family friends that live down in that area, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Hi, Catherine. So what you're looking at right now is actually the satellite image from this morning, and you can see that we do have a little bit of a clearing line that is going on right here, just along Kansas City, just south of Kansas City right now. So we'll definitely uh, be keeping an eye on that as we are expected to turn into sunny skies today. So eventually that clearing line will work its way down into west central Missouri, and we'll start seeing some sunshine pop out here probably within the next hour or so. So it's going to be a beautiful day today, guys, and tomorrow for that matter. At least the first part of tomorrow. So we're only looking in the low 80s today, tomorrow, but we do have that warm front that's going to be pushing back through our area tomorrow afternoon. It could provide a small focus for maybe a couple scattered thunderstorms. It will likely come through dry, so not everybody is going to see rain tomorrow afternoon when this begins to come back through our area, but it is going to bring with it some very warm temperatures for Tuesday. So latest data, we kind of looked at it last night. It didn't look quite as impressive as what it did 3 days ago when we looked at it, but I still think we're going to be up into that 97, 98, 99 degree range on Tuesday. Very humid. It's going to be a lucky day on Tuesday. Morning, Charlie. Can everybody hear me okay? It's showing I have sound on my end. If you would just tap in the chat, let me know if you can hear me. Hey, Sherry. Okay. Just making sure. Make sure it's not on mute, Charlie. Hey, MH. Hey, very good. Very good. Okay, so it looks like we got quite a few of you in here. We'll go ahead and get going. And again, we're looking at the satellite uh, depiction, what we got going on right now. We got a cluster of thunderstorm down here in central and southwest Kansas. But we do have a clearing line that is slowly making its way down to west central Missouri. I would say probably by around the lunchtime We're going to start seeing some sun poking out through the clouds. We're only going to have a high of 81 to 83 degrees today. It'll be a very, very nice day today. And the first part of tomorrow is going to be very nice as well. But then as we go forward a little bit, that's when things kind of get kind of iffy this week. So, and I'll show you why. We're going to switch over here to the 500 millibar chart. So I gave a talk on this on TorqueCon last night. The reason why I use this all the time is because this area right here, this is 18,000 feet above our heads. And Gary Lezak used this analogy as well. So if you can think of a river, and say the Grand River, if you're able to know where the river is at, and you know all the bends and all the turns, you can take a log and you can put it in the Grand River, and you know where that log is going to go. That log kind of represents a storm system. Okay, if you know what the current is, how fast it's moving, and where all the bends are at, you know where those storm system is going to go. You know where that log is going to go. So this is what the 500 millibar chart does for us. Is it takes a look at the jet stream 18,000 feet above our heads, and we see all of the bends and the shapes it makes, and storm systems are going to be following that. So that's the reason why this is such an important part. Can't hear too loud, folks. Can't figure it out. Good morning, Janet. So that's the reason why we use this 500 millibar chart, so we kind of see where these storm systems are going to go. Now, typically, during springtime, we see where you see the pinks and the reds. Typically, that is down here coming across the Midwest. And that's the reason why we get so many storm systems in the springtime. They're fairly strong. Well, now that begins to retreat to the north during summertime. And that's not saying we don't get any storms, obviously, here in the Midwest, but the big driving force is up here in the northern plains and into Canada. They are beginning their storm season up here now. So a lot of your storm chasers will travel all the way up here into Canada and the Dakotas, Minnesota, to follow storms, because that's the hot spot these days, is up here. Now, typically, we just get clipped by a couple storm systems as they come through the area, and that's exactly what's going to happen this week. So we're not expecting big systems, but there's going to be several disturbances that will be going by up here in the north that will give us a chance to see some thunderstorms this week. So we'll kind of move this forward. Now, today and tomorrow, for the most part, you see we're under a ridge. That's that dome. It's going to be nice temperatures. Likely going to be dry all day today and most of the day tomorrow. And then we have a storm system right here that is going to be riding up on this jet stream, and we're going to get a little bit of a tail end of it. It's going to allow that warm front to move through our area and bring us a potential to see maybe a scattered thunderstorm as we go into tomorrow, and then maybe a little bit better chance on Tuesday night, Wednesday, and on the 4th of July. Now, it doesn't look like anything's going to be a washout, but we are going to have that chance to see some thunderstorms, and with being as warm and humid as what it's going to be, there's always that outside chance that we may get a strong cell that come through the area with some strong straight line winds. The tornado threat, the real severe stuff, I'm not too concerned about this week. It's just going to be for those real strong straight line winds and heavy rains, in which we got Old Glory Days going on down here in Clinton over next week. So it's definitely something I'm keeping a very close eye on, as there's several festivities going on next week. I know Rich Hill has one, and I know that down in Vernon County they have theirs as well, Johnson County. So a lot of things going on this week, guys. So definitely want to be prepared for the potential of seeing a couple thunderstorms this week. So we go through. This is going to be Tuesday night into Wednesday, and we have a strong storm system up here in the Dakotas. You see that little dip right there, and it's negatively tilted, meaning that the center axis of this circle, so to speak, runs from northwest to southeast. So this will be a very strong storm system that will remain mainly to our north, but we are going to get the glimpse of some of that on Wednesday that could provide a focus for a short period of time in which we could have a couple strong thunderstorms move through on Wednesday. Okay, so definitely keep an eye on that for Wednesday, and then of course on Thursday we're still dealing with some of those small chances of isolated showers and thunderstorms on 4th of July. It's not going to be a washout, but because we're going to be on the edge of this storm system right here. And then once we get through the 4th on Friday and Saturday, Sunday, I think we are going to we're actually going to have some beautiful weather for this weekend. So it's kind of a mixed forecast. Taking a look at what our forecast we made last week for this upcoming holiday. I'm not going to change because it's really holding true all week. So of course we started with this weekend. We had those thunderstorms moved in on Friday. Now, instead of after 2 a.m., they came in about 11 o'clock that night on Friday night. So it did speed up just a little bit. Of course, we did have some severe weather. On yesterday, we had sunshine, scattered thunderstorms last night between 4 and 9 p.m., and that held true for yesterday. Some of the severe threat was very small for us, but we did get some beneficial rains out of that for most of the area yesterday. I picked up almost a half inch. So, and then today, beautiful 84. I'd say that's pretty aggressive temperature, but 82, 83 degrees, somewhere in there for today. Tomorrow, 92 with the warm front coming in the PM. Now, I don't think we'll get quite that warm tomorrow. I think we'll be in the mid 80s tomorrow with the warm front coming in tomorrow afternoon. And then Tuesday, intense heat builds up, a lot of humidity. We might not make it up to 99, but we'll be in the mid to upper 90s on Tuesday throughout west central Missouri. So it's going to be very hot. And then, of course, for Wednesday and for Independence Day, scattered thunderstorms in the low 90s. I think that is still spot on. It's not going to be a washout. It is going to be, but we need to stay weather aware on Wednesday, especially if you're taking maybe a little bit of an extended holiday. If you're going to be camping, just make sure that you prepare for some thunderstorms at certain parts of the day on both Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday through Sunday, outside of maybe a leftover shower Friday morning, I think for the most part it's going to be a beautiful weekend in the upper 80s and likely dry for the weekend. So I'm going to keep this without changing it because I think it represents next week very, very well. And we done this forecast last week for our area. So outside of a few timing that was a little bit off on some of these storms, it's really held true for the entire week. Oh, Catherine, so you've got a birthday coming up on the 13th. We can take a look at that. We're gonna hit the global predictor. I don't know if it's gonna touch the 13th or not. Because remember, the global predictor always starts 2 weeks in advance of what today's date is. But we'll take a look at that here in just a second. So the forecast is going to remain about the same for this upcoming week. Not a washout. Really kind of typical July 4th holiday weather pattern, in which it's going to be hot. It's normally always hot during the 4th of July, and we're going to have some scattered thunderstorms in and around the area. The only thing that I want everybody to stay weather aware is that on Wednesday we do have the potential to see maybe a couple strong storms in the area. Right now, it's not like something that's sticking out there that we have to have several days to prepare. It's nothing like that. But with as many people that's going to be down at the lake having festivities out and about, Wednesday definitely, late Tuesday night and Wednesday definitely, we want to stay weather aware and keep up on the updates that I'll provide here over the next 3 days. So I want to touch on one thing here, guys. So I did answer it, so to speak, in a comment, but I wanted to show you kind of a maybe a visual representation. There's a picture that was circulating around on that rain shaft over near Carthage. So I want to show you guys what I described that as being. So you guys remember here over the last 3 days, and we talk about an outflow, and the outflow on radar looked like a real thin green line out ahead of the storm. Okay, and I talked to you about that is typically a sign that the thunderstorms are weakening. And because once that thunderstorm goes across that rain-cooled air, then it begins to weaken. It doesn't have that real rich environment for it to continue to grow, and it begins to weaken. Okay, well, that's similar to what that picture that we saw. And here is a picture of mature thunderstorm. Okay, we have a strong updraft represented by the red arrows going straight up. That is what is pushing all of those little bitty hailstones back up at 50,000 feet. And it forms another layer of ice. It gets heavy. It begins to fall. And then the updraft push it back up there again. And it's holding all of the precipitation up there at 30, 40, 50,000 feet above our heads. Well, if that thunderstorm begins to weaken and the updraft begins to weaken, then what happens, it can't support all that precipitation up there anymore, and it begins to fall to the surface. Now, that updraft is right in the center of the thunderstorm, similar to the picture that we saw floating around the internet and on Subby's Weather Talk. And so all of this precipitation now begins to fall right down through the updraft and onto the ground. So it almost looks, it looks kind of eerie because all this rain is coming down right in the center of that updraft. Now, once it hits the ground, it has no place to go. So imagine dropping a water balloon onto the ground. When you drop it, it hits the surface, it has nowhere to go, and it pushes out. And that's exactly what happens in a dying thunderstorm. It pushes the wind and the rain outward, and that's what creates these gust fronts out ahead of this line of, or this thunderstorm, and creates that outflow. So what we were seeing there in that picture from Carthage was a weakening thunderstorm that lost its updraft, and all that rain probably had a little bit of hail mixed in with it. All that precipitation was falling through the updraft and going to the ground. Now, most of the time, that happens at night, because during the daytime hours, a lot of time, the conditions are, were warmer, the sunshine, the heat of the day. A lot of times that's enough ingredient to keep those thunderstorms going. A lot of times at night, when they finally begin to lose their punch, that's when you see such incidences like what we've seen in that picture. So to catch a photo during the middle of the day of a weakening thunderstorm, a powerful thunderstorm at that, to create such a beautiful picture is doesn't happen all that often. So that was a great photo that person took of that dying thunderstorm. So thank you guys for sharing that photo. I seen it. Man, it's out there all over the place on social media. It's been shared many times. Typically, we see something like that. We don't have our phone. We don't have a camera, and before you know it, it's gone, and you wish you would have had a picture of it. So that was pretty cool. 34, Catherine. Happy birthday, girl. So that kind of explains that picture that we were seeing floating around Facebook and in our room. Just wanted to kind of give you guys a visual representation of what I explained there in the photos. So really a cool photo. I saved it actually, maybe be able to use that picture with her permission as we maybe get ready to do another severe weather seminar next spring here in Clinton. So thank you guys for posting that in the room. So let's talk about we've got our first named hurricane of the season, Beryl. Let's take a look at that. This thing has rapidly intensified over the last 36 hours or so. It does have the potential to get up to a Category 4 status when it hits the Windward Islands. The good news is the fact that I know I have some friends down in the Virgin Islands. So I know a lot of people take vacationing down in that area. The good news is that it seems to be the threat for this hurricane is going to be to the south of them. So that's great news. But what is going to happen when this thing pushes on through and hits southern Mexico and into the Gulf? That's what we're a little bit concerned about, where this thing is actually going to go. Now, once you get past day 3 or 4 of a hurricane, you guys seen all the spaghetti models. They're all over the board. So we're not sure exactly what's going to happen with this as we get into day 3, 4, and 5. But it's definitely something that we are keeping a close eye on for the Texas coast, for Louisiana coast. That is definitely something we're keeping a close eye on. I am part of a coast-to-coast team called Torcon. We have our own hurricane experts in which they're keeping a very close eye on this for friends and family that live down on the Gulf Coast. So definitely something we'll be keeping an eye on. If you have family or friends that are, from Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, anywhere along the Gulf Coast, a very good app. And you guys know I'm kind of a big app person. So you got Storm Shield, American Red Cross, emergency app. Those are the top 2 for our area. It follows you wherever you go, notifies you if you're entering an area that may be under a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. Those are 2 must-have apps. If you live in any hurricane-prone area or visiting hurricane-prone areas, the top app out there is called Hurricane Pro. And this is Hurricane Pro Tracker. They have a free version, and then they've got a one-time $3.99 app that it's one time and you're good to go. So definitely well worth it. You can share the screen. You can keep an eye on where your family is, where your friends are at. It gives updates the minute they're issued through the Hurricane Center. So if you guys have any family, friends, or interest down on the Gulf Coast, this is the app you got to have. This is fantastic. I utilize it. Most of our TourCon team, they utilize it as well. So they don't have a desktop version, in which if I'm going to be on a desktop, I'll use the Hurricane Center webpage. But if I'm on the go, on my tablet, on my phone, this is definitely the app to have. So just wanted to kind of show you guys what this is. It's available Apple, Android. Hurricane Pro, Hurricane Tracker Pro is the one for you guys to definitely get. One kind of neat thing about this, and of course we always touch on LRC, excuse me, and Weather 2020. So 7 months ago, Gary Lezak with the LRC pointed out, as we went through November all the way through the first of the year, pointed out likely hotspots for hurricanes as for the early season. Okay. One. I know it's not lightning, so I know it's not my lightning detector going off. So the hotspots were back on November 11th. It showed one of the first systems to be coming through was going to be right here. And then of course on the 12th and the 15th he indicated, hey, it's moved over to this direction. And then on the next cycle, then it showed up, followed that hurricane, and it ended up being over here near Mexico. So this was all part of the cycling of the LRC, that he was putting some hotspots for this time of year. Now we're at the same cycle as what it was back November 11th and 12th, and again back February 17th. We're in the same cycle, same time frame, and here we have Beryl marching through the Caribbean. So really, really fascinating. And again, I can talk another hour on the LRC and Weather 2020. It is just fascinating. And as you guys know, I keep tabs on what the forecast was 45 days ago, today, and each cycle. And I put it down on a calendar. Can't really see that with my camera, but and I keep tabs on that. And I actually have July 4th hurricane actually written down on July 4th, based on, and I wrote that back in like the 1st of March. So based on the LRC. So here we are, the 30th of June, and we have this first named hurricane of the year, a very potent one for that matter, that is coming through the Caribbean. So I can talk about it all day long. Incredible methodology between Weather 2020 and the LRC and what actually happens. So very, very excited about that. I think Gary Lezak is very excited about that. It's just, this season has been incredible. He predicted with the LRC all of the severe weather events for the entire spring and early summer with almost 93% accuracy of date, intensity, where it was going to be at. And now we have our first named hurricane coming up almost right on cue with the LRC. So pretty neat stuff. Pretty neat stuff. So let's take a look at the global predictor. And Catherine, yours was right around the, looked like that was right around the 20th or so. 14th. It's Beryl is the name of the hurricane, Jordan. Beryl. Beryl. And we have, of course, my sister is watching this today. I've seen her out there. So I wanted to, and I'm sure she probably already knows. So the 2024 names of hurricane actually has Hurricane Valerie. And we all know that she has enough hot air. That's the one I'm concerned about for this year, is Hurricane Valerie. And if that name has anything to do with how intense this thing is going to be, there's so much hot air associated with that name that I have a feeling we're going to be in for a heck of a hurricane season. So, and of course, after Beryl, we're going to have Chris, Debbie, Ernesto, Francine, Gordon, Helen, Isaac, Joyce, Kurt, Leslie, Milton, Nadine, Oscar, Patty, Raphael, Sarah, Tony, Valerie, and William. And then if it continues on after that, then we will be going back to A again and go through the alphabet. So let's see here. The 13th. So it doesn't quite catch on the 13th. However, I did bring up we are not going to be having a storm system through that time, Catherine, unfortunately. So we're going to be in a dry period from, looked like the 11th through the 16th. Yeah, looked like we got a storm system coming in the 15th and 16th. But for the 11th through the 14th, it doesn't look like there's going to be a storm system. So maybe that will change and you get a nadir. You get a nadir for your birthday. But if anybody has any other spot around the globe that they would like to take a look at, maybe have an outdoor plan from, looks like it's going to be running from the 15th through New Year's Eve. If anybody has a place around the world that they are going to be heading to, maybe a wedding or an outdoor venue, you can let me know. We can sure look up and catch a forecast for it. That's what we do every Sunday morning, kind of give everybody a chance to be able to utilize. We are at Subby's Weather Talk. We are corporate sponsors of Gary Lezak's LRC and Weather 2020. So they have a dashboard that I utilize. That's how I come up with my forecast for our area that I give out every week. And I use the global predictor. Is they take all that information from the dashboard and they compile it into a very easy to use app that is now, I think this week, they're going to open it up, the app on Apple and Android, for people to download for like $5.99 a month. So that's coming down the hatch this week. So that'll be interesting. If any of you are interested in getting this app on your phone, I just get with me and I'll let you know the minute it comes out in Play Store and iTunes. And she has 2 of those lightning detectors. Yeah, they detect fireworks, car backfires. Mine does the same. So, I'm a little bit anxious about the 4th of July because this really just started. Of course, he always barked whenever somebody's walking down the road. He's kind of my ears in the middle of the night. So, and I love that aspect of it. But for some reason, during last year, fireworks began to affect him. Thunder began to affect him. And man, I tell you what, during 4th of July, I had some neighbors that they decide they want to shoot fireworks past midnight for like 4 days in a row. Man, I tell you, my dog absolutely went nuts. So I don't know. I'm gonna try some all natural calming, like little pills for dogs. I'm gonna try them this year and see if that don't help a little bit. First snow for Winchendon, Massachusetts. Oh yeah, we can do that. I just got to know where in the world that is. Massachusetts. So that's up in north central Massachusetts. All right, let's go take a trip. There it is right there. So we're going to hit that area and we're going to start off in October. And we're going to take a look at any, well, for crying out loud, we're going to be a little earlier than that. Well, we kind of hit the nail on the head on that end. So right now, it is showing the first measurable snowfall is October 1st and 2nd. So let's take a look at what the temperatures, let's take a look at the low temperature. So it's going to be in the 40s. But it is showing measurable precipitation on the 1st and 2nd of October. Now, going past that, now whether or not that's a little bit of abnormally, I don't know. But it's showing temperature, the low temperatures right around the low 40s and a little bit above average. So let's jump over to November and let's see that. So they're showing the 1st and then the 14th, 15th, and 16th of November. And that looks probably a little bit more feasible. Yep. So I'm gonna take that one in October is likely, maybe just a abnormality, possibly. I say the best chance for the first snow is going to be November 14th, 15th, and 16th in Massachusetts. So I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that town. Winchendon, Massachusetts. The normal is first snow is October 31st. Jordan, I'm not going to go with the first snow from Moscow, Russia. Are you planning on a trip to Russia? Come on, man. Moscow, Russia. I can though, but let's see here. So we're still. Let's go back. Let's take a look here in West Central Missouri real quick and see if that had changed anymore since the last time we looked. Nothing in October. Nothing in November, so that has not changed. It was, I believe it was like around the 17th of December before measurable snow here in west central Missouri. I think last time we looked at it. 18th. So right now here in west central Missouri is showing our first measurable snow coming around the 18th of December. So let's hope that holds true. There you go, Ann. Yeah, I would definitely shoot for that one in November because that's a 3-day chance for a measurable precipitation for snowfall. So I would go. That could be a multiple day event. So I would take my chances with that being the first inch of snowfall. All right, so Jordan, we're gonna do your Moscow, Russia, just to show you how cool that the global predictor is. Here, Moscow, Russia. And let's go back into August, September, October, November. Okay, so according to this, their first big winter storm in Moscow, Russia, is going to be that first week of November, from the 1st through the 6th. And they're going to be very cold too. They're going to be jumping down into the teens. So we start off at let's see here. We start off about 32 degrees, and then we go 27, 23, all the way down to 10 degrees on Friday, November 8th in Moscow, Russia. So pretty cool to have this at your fingertips. Very easy to use. So I will let you guys know when the app rolls out for Apple and Android here, probably within the next week or so. Was the last email I got from Gary. So I will let you guys know. Let's do a little recap here real quick for our area. And again, I'm not going to be changing this forecast. It still looks like it's right on track. Beautiful day tomorrow, and for most of the day tomorrow. Beautiful day today and tomorrow as well, at least for the first part of the day. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to have a warm front move through our area. We're going to have some very warm temperatures on Tuesday. And then for Wednesday and 4th of July, we're going to have some scattered thunderstorms. Wednesday, we need to stay weather aware for potential of seeing some stronger thunderstorms. They will be scattered in nature, highs in the low 90s. So make sure if you're going out and going to celebrate, go to some events, make sure you drink plenty of water. And then Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday looked like a great weekend to get out and enjoy the holiday weekend. We're going to have highs in the mid upper 80s, and humidity is not going to be as intense as what it has been. So we're looking for a very, very nice weekend following up the 4th of July. All right, guys, that's all I've got for this Sunday edition. So I want everybody to get out and enjoy, get the yard mowed today. It's going to be a nice day to get that done, get some yard work done, and I'll probably in the evening tomorrow is my first official day with Radford Media and KDKD 95.3 and 104.9 The Biz. So it's probably going to take us a couple 3 weeks to kind of get the get going on what we have planned over at the radio stations. So, but I'll keep you guys up to date on what we've got going on. We're also, I'm also going to be, of course, part of Henry County Emergency Management. We have several things rolling out locally with them here over the next couple 3 weeks that I'm excited about. So, a lot of changes going on here over the next week, but I'll make sure I keep you guys tuned in to everything that's going on. And of course, you know, even because going through some changes, we're still Subby's Weather Talk. We're still going to be utilizing our social media platforms. Nothing's going to change with that right now. So you know, don't worry. Subby's Weather Talk not going anywhere. We're still going to keep you guys updated on everything that's going on here in West Central Missouri. Absolutely, Sunday morning education at its best. All right, guys. Hey, we're gonna call it a string, and I'll continue to update everybody in our group and social media pages as we get closer into the holiday week, and keep you guys updated on potential for thunderstorm Tuesday night and Wednesday, some of which could be on the strong side. Have a fantastic Sunday, guys. We'll be